So this is a really nice design for a calisthenic exercise here at the Scottsdale Chaparral Park. And on the board here, it shows a lot of different stretches that can be done, but it doesn't mention how it's great for assisted muscle up. And the reason why it's good for that is because you have these bottom rungs where you can put your feet and helps propel you upwards for the full muscle up movement. These are normally very hard to do, but with this, you can work your way up and still get the full body benefits of the muscle up. So we just grab on here, we put our feet here on the bottom rung, you come to a dead hang, and then you use your legs to propel you upwards, and then you activate the back and arms to pull you in, and then you give a little more push off with the feet, and you come up to the muscle up. And then you activate the triceps and the core to hold, and then you can come down back to that lower rung, get a little bit of momentum, push off with the legs, activate the back, arms, and then muscle up. And then I recommend finding a nice rhythm. And people will see you doing this, and they won't even be able to tell that you're doing it assisted with that bottom rung. But you're getting all that benefit of the muscle up, but you're using that bottom rung to help you out. You can practice these. Great workout, highly recommended for people interested in body weight exercises. So we just went over the muscle ups, and now just quick tip for pull-ups and chin-ups. One of the key things that can really help you out is to put your entire mind on your back at the moment you pull up. And so you use your focus, your concentration, your visualization, your attention, your imagination, all these aspects of the mind, fully ground them on the back as you pull up. And that'll give you an extra bit of strength to help you do it. And so we can come from even just a full hang here, and it's just one pull up. And then you want to breathe out, full awareness on the back, and then pull up. And then release. Okay? Again, hold, full awareness on the back, and up. All right, and there's just a simple pull-up. If you're just beginning, just do one at a time, explode, and then rest. Explode, and then rest. That way, on each individual explosion, you can not only activate your back, but activate your brain by putting it on the back. We're just going to do a little bit of core activation. So again, here we are on the muscle up bar, and we're going to work in now a hold to activate the core. And you'll see how it relates kind of to the position that you'll see is popular in Pilates. And so we're going to come here, you go down, push, up, and then once we get stable, we're going to lift the body up, keep the toes straight and the legs straight, activate the core, and you're going to try to go down to like an L sit. And then when you go down to L sit here, and then you release, you have the legs straight, toes back, and you can see this is good for the lower back. It's stretching out the hamstrings, shoulders, and very, again, popular position that you'll see a lot in Pilates. But I can feel some aligning going on in the hips, stretching of the hamstrings, strengthening the forearms, stabilizing the core, and then you can come out of it here, 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 in there. Paranoia is the wrong use of imagination. Okay, a lot of times the things that we're paranoid about aren't real, but we think they're real. And instead of using our imagination to create things, we kind of goes off the rails and creates things in our minds. And we have to, when that happens, come back to the present moment. You can put awareness on the body so it gets attention out of the mind. When the mind is rattling like the tin can, the body is silent. So if you're having paranoid states, remember that it's the imagination, the wrong use of imagination, and get out of it by bringing awareness to the body. So running is a way of getting you into the body. So if the mind is chattering or causing psychological stress, by activating and running, you notice that the awareness, it sinks down into the physical body and gets out of the head. And so that can really help with improving the psychological state by spreading the energy, sinking it down into the body. You are one thing and your body is another thing. If you or your psychology is running wild, get into the body. Go to run, lift, stretch, feel the body, all the sensations that come with it. And by feeling a sensation, again, it's all about your attention and awareness. You're bringing the attention awareness from up here, where it's maybe really fast or scattered or paranoid, and you bring it down to the body where it's just more like a plant. And that's why it's easier said than done. But people that have been doing the practice for a long time, they really know the value of it. It really helps them out. And you can see someone and tell if they're in their body or if they're in their heads. If you sit and just watch or listen to people pass by, you can tell someone that's really more up in the head than in the body. Going outside is very important. We live under artificial lights, in artificial air conditioning with artificial heaters. And our bodies are designed to adjust to temperature. If it's cold, we want to feel the cold. If it's hot, we want to feel the hot. If it's hot, we want to sweat a little bit. If it's cold, it's good to shiver. These are all different polarities that we want to touch on all of them. And that's why it's important to really experience the seasons. If it's hot, get hot. If it's cold, get cold. And that'll get us closer to nature, closer to ourselves, and a more healthy body. Yeah, and that goes back a lot to the paranoia, where paranoia is causing the suffering, not the event that you're paranoid about. And when you see how obvious that is, and when you can recognize how obvious it is, then you can get out of it. And you can feel much better, and you come back to the present moment, and you realize that there really is nothing to worry about. I don't know if I was paranoid. I think I had the normal stresses or worries that everyone has, but now it's freed up my energy, because worry is one of the main causes of energy leakage. If your mind is tied up with worry, you're not thinking about other things. You're not letting new ideas come in because you're stuck on false ideas. So as soon as I dropped worry and got present with what is and how reality is, it freed me up to do things that I want to do, then take those techniques and give them to other people. That's really, I think, what most people are after, is they want that freedom and liberation from just this psychological stress that does nothing but waste our energy and use up our time and distract us from what we want to do. I think it relates to not tampering with things how they are. And we're always you hear a lot about people trying to change themselves, or they're trying to fix things that aren't broke. And there's a whole industry out there that's trying to sell the idea of improving yourself and changing who you are, and not very many people saying that you're okay as you are. And as Martin Butler would say, don't change the settings. If your technology or your program is set on your iPhone, you don't get the iPhone, that you don't know anything about how it works and the details behind the functionality of it. You don't just go into the settings and start clicking stuff around that you don't know. And the worst thing you could do is try to fix a machine where you don't know the parts, you don't know how it works. And I think that's what a lot of people sell. I'm more a believer in don't change the settings, study your machine, practice self-study for a long time, and then you start making slow incremental changes. This is a long process. It's a tedious process. It's a lot of work. And don't change the settings, observe the machine, and then work with what you have instead of trying to change or add anything to it first. Or maybe they don't like aspects of themselves, or they don't like their false self. After we're born, we are immediately bombarded with things from society and education and family and expectations and all these different things that start building on top of the essential self. And so a lot of times if people are upset with themselves, it's because they're not their true selves. They're upset with everything that's been piled on top of them that they're buried under. And so that goes back to not changing, is we still want to get back to that core, but we got to shed the bullshit first. And that can be hard to do because we've been so conditioned. And we want to break free from that conditioning, which can be difficult because we're all programmed, like I said, from an early age. But we got to start chipping away if you're not happy with yourself. There's things that you believe, there's things you've been taught, there's things that you've been lied to about, that once you start peeling it back like an onion, you're going to get more to the core. And the closer you get to the core, the better life will be. It's not about adding on, it's about pulling back. And we're not here to accumulate things, we're here to kind of lose them. And by continuing to lose, we get closer to our essence.